happened very fast. Fire, of course, has its own life. And although I tried to put it out, the flames that I saw by the water, I had seen it got into the walls up there on the side, and that was when I said, I can't do this, and I must call the fire engines. They got to here, but fire engines, when they come, the firemen, it was about 5 minutes, 10 minutes before they got here, but in the meantime, of course, as you can see, the damage is extensive, and we were outside watching the fires and the smoke billowing out of the door. Actually, they couldn't get into this. They knew the fire was here in the kitchen. It started here, that was the big fire, but they couldn't get into the kitchen because the smoke was coming out of the front door, and they had to then break into that door there, which is now boarded up, to get to the fire. By that time, of course, the kitchen was gone, and the heat, of course, eliminates all your electrical apparatus, our computer, our microwave, our machines, the television set, and so forth were all eliminated by the fire and the smoke. Smoke is everywhere. Smoke gets into your clothes, it gets into everything, and it's very difficult to get out. What are my feelings about it? Well, in a way, a fire destroys a lot of material things, and you have to recognize that they are just material things to be replaced. Had I stayed in, they say that I've been here more than 5 minutes, I would have been dead because the smoke, if you inhale that smoke, it debilitates yourself and then you fall down and so forth. There was a cat, incidentally, in the basement, and we didn't find the cat until practically when the fire was out. The cat is okay. But this reminds me of a fire that we had on the Rhine River way back in 1949 when I was not allowed to go into Germany, and the citizens of Strasbourg I had to stay on the line between France and Germany, so they built a little house for me, which was like a little doll's house. It was very cute, and the kids of the neighborhood used to come there after school and play in that house and so forth. And I had a little desk, and I was working there. But one day, actually, the kids almost took over that house. In fact, they did take over after school, playing in it and so forth. And the citizens of Strasbourg had put a fireplace, a little stove, to keep the house warm. It was the middle of winter, and I was working at a restaurant on a line directly from the house, and suddenly somebody walks in and says, "The house is on fire, the house is on fire." And I said, "Oh my God, the kids," and I rushed out, and there that little house was blazing. I rushed in, and the kids had all evacuated, thank God. Everybody stood watching that. It was like the end of an era. That fire, that little house represented a epoch in my life where I had gone to the Rhine River to go into France, go to Germany after the World Citizenship movement started, and there were hundreds of thousands of Germans on the other side who had signed up as the Registry of World Citizens. And as we watched that house and that fire burning and so forth, I said, well, that's the end of this particular time period. This is the beginning of world citizenship, and the fire to me represents burning all the dross and so forth, and now we have to start anew. And we did. So here this is a fire which is kind of symbolic. It's the World Government House. Our main office, of course, is in Washington, D.C. But as I look, one of my main concerns was not that this is important in an eternal sense, that this can all be replaced. But what is important are the ideas that are all in the books upstairs and in my computer. There are a number of, I don't know, over 150 binders upstairs, three binders. And that was my first concern. Are those binders, have they been destroyed too? Well, happily they haven't. Happily all those binders are up, are okay. So in a way it's a friend, and it turns from something which seems to be destructive into construction. You rebuild, you rebuild better, and that's what's going to happen here. The work goes on, and the work, of course, the main work is in Washington, D.C., where the World Service Authority is accepting your application forms for world passports, for registration of world citizens, for your ID card, for your marriage certificate, for your birth certificates, and so forth, all documents based upon the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And if you go to worldservice.org, you can see the whole information that's intact. So that's it, and we'll talk to you later in other documentary filmings. Keep listening.